Hello, my friends. Wow. What just happened in Europe in December is truly mind-blowing. If you haven't already heard about it, you've got to hear, you've got to find out. This news is just insane. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans. I'm coming to you here from Melbourne, Australia. Welcome to all the new subscribers to the channel. Great to have you here. Welcome back to everyone else. So, what am I blabbing on about here? Well, Tesla Model 3 was the #1 best-selling car, period. Doesn't matter what kind of propulsion it has. Any car, #1 best-selling car in Europe in December, which is insane. I don't know how this is even possible. They sold more than 27,000 of them in December in Europe. I mean, what on earth is going to happen this year when the Gigafactory in Germany opens? Well, that said, it's taking its time, isn't it? But clearly Tesla are building cars there right now. If you don't believe this, I'll put a link in the description below to the video I made showing hundreds of cars in the parking lot. So it's happening, right? But Tesla is doing this, selling their cars. To be honest, they're overpriced. They are. They're overpriced right now. It's true. But when they start building them in their factory in Germany and they don't have to ship them halfway across the world, and the taxes are going to be lower, I believe, as a result as well, then they can lower those prices and they can sell, way more than they are now, which is the amazing thing about this. But the even better news here, I hope you've waited to hear this news, is that 30% of all cars sold in Europe in December were electric. 30%. This is mind-blowing. Not only is it mind-blowing, it's just awesome news. I love hearing this news. It's fantastic to see. Now, the European passenger car market wasn't able to rebound from the chip supply crisis, and it continued to decline last month. But, I mean, who cares? Less cars being sold, but more of them being electric. Great news, if you ask me. In December, new passenger car registrations in Europe, 28 European markets, monitored by JATO Dynamics, fell by 22% year over year to 950,000. That's despite December 2020 already being down 3.8% compared to December 2019. So car sales continue to decline. It's probably a good thing, really, I think. I think one of the reasons for this is not just the chip supply. I actually think there's less demand for cars right now. I don't believe this whole myth from Legacy Auto that the reason they can't build cars right now is because of one reason only, and that's chip shortages. That's what they're all saying. I just don't think that's true. I actually think there is actually less demand for cars now. And I think this will come out maybe in a year or two when we'll look back and say, all that marketing bullshit we got told by Legacy Auto, maybe that wasn't quite true. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think in some cases it is true, but I think in some cases it isn't. Now, case in point, how on earth are these Chinese electric car companies able to increase their sales by 300+%? And I'm talking not one company, we're talking 10+ companies were able to do that over the last 12 months. If there's this huge shortage in terms of chips, I mean, it's even harder with electric cars to get parts. When you think about it, the batteries are what are supply constraining NIO, XPeng, Tesla, all these big guys from making more of them. But anyway, getting back to the story. In 2021, 11.75 million new passenger cars were registered in Europe. That's down 1.6% year over year and down 26% versus 2019. So a pretty big decline. This is the background on which we can see surging plug-in electric car sales. Now, Inside EV says, according to the data, in December, the plug-in car share increased to a new monthly record of 29.3%. That's over 280,000 in December alone. For those of you who don't know, the market in China was, well, more than double the number of electric cars sold in Europe were sold in China in the same month. In December, low emissions vehicles set a new monthly market share record with 29.3%. The popularity of electric cars were boosted by better availability at dealerships and the continued efforts from governments to incentivize consumers to shift away from traditional segments. I'm not so sure that's true. If that were true, why is it that Tesla's leading? I mean, in the United States, for example, if it's really true it's all about incentives, then it doesn't add up that Tesla has 80% of the electric car market in the United States where they don't get any tax credits at all. Anyway, this level of growth meant that EVs accounted for a major portion of all new car registrations in several markets, including Norway, 90%, the Netherlands, 64%, Sweden, 61%, and Denmark, 57%. Boy, am I glad to hear this news. It's so good, right? It's fantastic. Anyway, in 2021, plugins noted about 2.25 million registrations. That's in 28 European markets, which is nearly 20% of the total market. And it's also 58% more than in 2020. So what were the 10 best-selling models? Well, December brought incredible news. The Tesla Model 3 was the best-selling car of any type, regardless of the powertrain. They sold 27,360 units. Now, this is the second time, as Tesla actually led as well in September of 2021 for the entire European market, regardless of powertrain. Now, the Model 3 multiple times was also in the top 3. A year ago, in December 2020, the Tesla Model 3 was number 3 with 24,567 units, while the Volkswagen ID.3 was number 2 with 28,000 units. However, this year, the ID.3 is not close to repeating this result. So the next best-selling car in December of 2021 in Europe was the Peugeot 208, which was way behind on 20,186. So nearly 7,300 less sales. A pretty big percentage down there. It's amazing the gap here between the Model 3 and the next second place. Next, third place was the Renault Clio with 18,400. Next was the Dacia Sandero with 18,000. Next was the Peugeot 2008 with 16,330. Sixth place, Volkswagen T-Roc, 4,450. Seventh place, the Dacia Duster with 14,405. And in eighth place, the Mini Hatch with 13,500. Ninth place, the Fiat Abarth 500 with 13,000. And in 10th, the Renault Captur with 12,855. Now, what about just electric car sales? Well, in December in Europe, obviously Model 3 first with 27,400. Then we have second place was the Renault Zoe with 11,181 sales. Now, I should let you know about the video I made about the Renault Zoe's safety score. It is a bit of a concern and maybe a potential reason to consider a different EV. I'll put a link in the description below to that video that I made. So as you can see, Tesla sold more than twice as many as the second placed electric vehicle in Europe. And that's without even having their factory open yet. Third place was the Dacia Spring with 8,165. I made a video about that vehicle. I quite like the Dacia Spring. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. Fourth place was the Volkswagen Up with 7,976 sales. Fifth place, Tesla Model Y with 7,870. Sixth place, Volkswagen ID.4 with 6,808. Next, we got the Nissan Leaf with 6,261. Eighth, Skoda Enyaq, 5,893. Ninth, Volkswagen ID.3, 5,884. And then in 10th place, the Mini Hatch with 5,122 sales. Now, very interesting here. In spite of the fact Volkswagen has seemed to have lost that position, that high selling position with the ID.3, you can see that, well, most of the models here in the top 10 come from either Tesla or Volkswagen. So those two companies doing very well in Europe with EVs. And I believe both of them will ramp up significantly this year. Now, currently, Tesla is bigger in Europe in their peak months than brands like Kia, Citroën, and Fiat. Here's what Felipe Munoz, global analyst at Jato Dynamics, said. Tesla has weathered the current crisis in Europe's automotive industry better than any other OEM. The Model 3 led the model rankings, while the Model Y secured a place in the top 40 in December. Now, this is obviously regardless of propulsion type. The success of these two models alone has allowed Tesla to outsell established brands including Kia with 12 models available, Citroën with 10 models available, and Fiat with 7 models available. Now, I know I'm harping on about this because I've said it numerous times, but you don't need 50 different types of cars to actually do well in the market, as you can see. Now, Tesla's been criticized after their fourth quarter earnings call for not having a roadmap for other cars. I mean, obviously, I don't agree with that, but for saying that they're not focusing on the Model 2 now and Cybertruck is not coming along until 2023, and being heavily criticized for that, for really only having two models they sell. I mean, the Model X and the Model S, yeah, they're not high volume cars, so that's a fair point. But I don't think you need 20, 30, 40, 50 models in a market. That's just going to decrease your revenue by making you have all these different production lines, different factories and different parts all over the place. I think it's a smart move. Now, 2 models, is that enough? Well, obviously not. In the future, Tesla will have more. But I think companies like Volkswagen, who say they're going to have 70 different EVs, I think GM as well, saying they're going to have 35, I think it's just too many. I think there's no need to have that many models. I think 10 is more than enough. But let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you disagree? And my other key question here is, do you think Tesla will double, triple their sales in Europe this year? And my other prediction here, right? Okay, I think electric cars will hit a market share of 50% of the European market by the end of the year. That's my prediction. Do you agree or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Have a good day. I'll see you again on the next video. Bye-bye.